Alright guys, let's do this thing. Canelo Alvarez, Erislandy Lara. What can you say, man? I mean, what can you say? We are currently looking at the brand new Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo Alvarez. I mean, what do you have to do to beat this guy? I mean, what do you have to do, really? I mean, do you have to bring a billy club in there and knock this guy, knock him into a coma or something? I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. There's no way Canelo won this fight last night. There's just no way, alright? And I already know people are going to come with this whole BS about him running. Laras running all night. He doesn't want to fight. Blah, 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 right? Just doesn't make sense to me, guys, alright? I had this fight scored 8 rounds to 4, Erislandy Lara. It was a clear-cut win, no doubt about it. I mean, just look at the body language of Canelo after the fight. He knew he didn't win the damn fight. Him and his corner, they all knew he didn't win this fight. I mean, that tells it all right there. He can say whatever he wants. He can make all the BS excuses that he wants. It doesn't matter. People saw what happened in there, okay? He knew it. He knew it. It was clear. Clear out there. And, of course none of you Canelo fans are going to admit it. Of course not. You're in love with this guy. But he's completely overrated. And he's completely protected by the ugly politics of the sport. Okay? I had some people over the house last night. I bought this fight. I supported this fight all the way. This is a fight that I've been wanting to see for 2 years now. Because I wanted to see who was better out of the two. There's always been a lot of debate about who was better. For years. We finally got to see it, and it ends this way. Horrible, man. Just horrible. It was clear who the better boxer was in there. It was Erislandy Lara. It was clear who was landing the cleaner shots in there. It was Erislandy Lara. It was clear who showed ring generalship. Erislandy Lara. It was clear who showed better defense. Erislandy Lara. Now, I see people running around on YouTube already talking about how you can't win a fight running. Canelo was the aggressor. Okay, there's a difference between coming forward and following your opponent, which is what Canelo was doing, than cutting off the ring and being the effective aggressor, which is what he was not doing. Okay? There's a difference between following your opponent and cutting off the ring. Okay? Good example. A lot of you Canelo fans came to my prediction video and said things like, well, if Slow Angulo can get to Lara and knock him down, what do you think Canelo Alvarez is going to do? Right? This is what you guys said. Okay? Let's talk about that now. Let's talk about the slow pressure of Angulo. Okay? He got to Lara, yes. Knocked him down. Did tremendous work to Lara's body. Okay? He did a more effective job of being aggressive against Lara than Canelo did. And that's a fact. Okay? In your guys' own words. He dropped him, right? He got to him. He hurt him. Was Lara ever hurt last night? I don't think so. Because none of that shit was landing clean. Okay? None of it was landing clean. Let's talk about the body work, okay? The Canelo story. He made it a point to go to the body, okay? Which is a smart thing to do against someone who moves like Lara, okay? That's a good game plan to have. But was that shit landing clean is the question. Some of them were. I'd say about maybe 20% of the body shots that Canelo was throwing landed. The rest, he missed, or they were landing on the elbows, they were landing on the hips. A lot of them were even landing low, whether you want to admit it or not. But that doesn't count. It's got to land on the body, okay? Not on, like I said, not below the belt, not on the elbows, okay? Let's talk about how you guys, you Canelo fans, talked about how if Angulo can knock him down, Canelo's going to knock him out because he has so much power, right? You guys talked about this man's power like he was Paul Bunyan or something. You know, like he was some mythical character. He had this godly-like strength and power in the ring. What do you think is going to happen when he hits Lara? He's going to knock him out. Now, if you're going to sit here and say that he landed all those body shots clean with the kind of power that you said Canelo has, I'm surprised that Lara is even alive right now. Okay? Give me a break, guys. Give me a break. Okay? If this guy hits as hard as you think he hits, and he landed that many body shots to Lara's body, explain to me how on earth Lara was able to consistently use his legs and keep that distance all night long. Not to mention they were in a tiny ring. What was that, an 18-foot ring? The man couldn't cut him off in an 18-foot ring. Come on, guys. Let's be honest about some shit here, man. Just because you like a guy and just because you like his style, that doesn't mean you go into the fight just looking for ways to give him a round. Okay, that's being completely biased. All right, you gotta score the round for what happens in the round. Okay, just because you don't like Lara's style and you say he was running on that line, that don't mean you can just give the round to Canelo. Okay, they give us a criteria on how to score fights. It's not about what you want to see. Okay, it's not about you. Well, stay still, Lara, so Canelo can punch you in the face, punch you in the body. No, it's Canelo's job to cut the ring off and start throwing those combinations and start landing, start beating him up. Okay, that's Canelo's job. He didn't do it. He landed that one good uppercut, I believe it was the 7th round or something like that. Somewhere in the mid-rounds, he landed a very nice uppercut on Lara's face and cut him. Very good punch. To me, that was really that was the one and only best shot that he landed upstairs on Lara. I heard something at the post-fight conference, where they said that Canelo landed 24 headshots over 12 rounds of boxing with Erislandy Lara. If that's not defense, I don't know what is. You know? I mean, what is that? 2 headshots a round? 24 over 12? Oh, man. Wow. Just incredible, man. Like I said, you guys can make all the excuses you want about Lara running. But like I said, he was in there in a teeny tiny ring with this monster of a puncher in Canelo Alvarez. And Canelo couldn't get to him. Not once did he hurt him. Not once did he rock him. Not once did he cut off the ring and show effective aggression. He might have been throwing more punches, but he might have been throwing punches, harder punches, but I mean, was this shit landing? A lot of it wasn't landing clean. Shit, a lot of the time the guy was missing wildly. I mean, missing by a mile. It was almost as if you have someone who plays co-ed softball trying to hit a fastball off of a major league pitcher. Missing badly. That's what it looked like in there. Canelo's missing badly in there. Lara dominated this fight in spots. I mean, you guys want to talk about a guy running, but yet Canelo's got a mouse under his eye. How did that happen? How did that get there? You know? I mean, come on now, guys. There's the people who want to talk about, like, I'm not one to really say, well, look at one guy's face and look at the other and you can tell who wins the fight, okay? It all depends on the way the fight goes, if you want to look at it that way. Now, like I said, when Canelo connected with that good uppercut that he landed on Lara, and it opened up the cut, okay, that was caused by one punch. One punch, okay? Now, over the course of the fight, Lara was landing those left hands on Canelo's face, and you could see the eye getting bigger and bigger as the fight went on, okay? That's the difference right there. One shot created a cut on Lara's face, where it was an accumulation of punches on Canelo's face that created that mouse under his eye, okay? The guy had a steady diet of left hands in there. A steady diet of lefts. He was getting hit with good right hooks from Lara, okay? Lara was constantly making him reset. Canelo was lunging in a lot. He didn't use his jab to get close at all, okay? Lara had established the outside foot dominance on him. I just thought he won it clear. I thought it was a clear-cut win. And like I said, I already know you guys are going to come and talk shit, okay? But like I always say in my videos, okay, I'm a grown man, all right? I don't have time to sit here and argue with ignorance and little kids, okay? If you can't bring an intelligent argument to the table, I'm not even going to respond to you. And if you're going to use personal attacks, you're going to get deleted and you're going to get blocked, man. Because I just don't have time for it. Okay? I don't have time to sit here and argue with you about stupid shit like that, okay? Oh, he was just running. Bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. How on earth did Chris Algieri beat Provodnikov? He did more movement than Lara did. There was times where Lara backed straight up against the ropes, and Canelo stood right in front of him and did absolutely nothing. Nothing. Okay? How on earth did fucking Muhammad Ali ever win a fight, if you want to call that running, you know? In the eyes of some of you, he would have never won a fight. You know? Jeez, I mean, come on, guys. This is boxing, okay? This is not a fucking bar fight. This is not a street brawl, okay? This is not rock'em sock'em robots, okay? This is not stand right in front of me and let me hit you, damn it, okay? That's not what this is about, okay? That's just not what this is about. Really, you guys have no argument here, none, okay? Like I said, all this power that this man has that you guys claim he had, and if he landed all those shots to the body like you guys said he did, I don't know how the man had legs to move around the entire fight. I just don't. If he's landing significant body blows like you think he was, I think Lara's legs would have been zapped going into those championship rounds. But that's when he picked the pace back up. Rounds 10 through 12, he picked the pace back up. Okay? He took a couple rounds off. Yeah, he did. Took a couple rounds off, and those are the rounds that I gave to Canelo because he deserved them. Alright? He deserved them. But, look at the way that Canelo came out in that 12th round. There was a sense of desperation. Okay? And it was obvious. Because the man came out, not only did he want to win that round badly, the last round, but he was looking for the knockout because he knew he was losing the fight and he needed to knock Lara out. He knew it. It was clear, okay? Clear as can be. Now, I'll give Canelo a lot of credit for taking the fight. I give him credit. He didn't show as much fatigue and stamina issues that he has in other fights. He did get tired and he did get frustrated. There was a part, I think, in the first half of the fight, early, maybe the first 4 rounds, when Lara was moving. He was outboxing Canelo. And he went in to wrap up Canelo. And Canelo tried to pick him up and body slam him, you know? That's called frustration, guys, okay? He was getting frustrated in there. It was clear as can be. Okay, guys? In my opinion, this was a clear-cut win for Lara. No doubt about it. Okay? But there's really something going on with this kid Canelo Alvarez. Really, there is. And it's obvious that they want this guy to go on and do big numbers with big names, okay? That's really all they're using him for. And it's obvious that the guy can't compete with guys who move. He can't compete with guys who have boxing skills and who have quicker hands. Okay? Guys that can think. He has problems, and it's obvious now. This is the third time in the last 4 fights that Canelo hasn't looked like the Canelo that you've seen against Shane Mosley, that you've seen against Lopez, that you even saw against Angulo. Wasn't the same guy. Wasn't the same guy. And let's talk about these scorecards, okay? 115, 113. It's like, that's a point difference from my card, okay? But 117, 111, you have got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, guys. Now let's go back. Let's go all the way back to the Austin Trout fight, okay? First off, you got the fight in Texas, who's known for robbing fighters, okay? Known for it. On one judge's scorecard, Trout lost just about every single round. When people with boxing knowledge know that the fight was close. Razor thin. But somehow, some way, one of the judges had it a blowout for Canelo Alvarez. Okay? His next fight against Floyd Mayweather. The guy gets outclassed. He loses every single round. Looks like shit. Matter of fact, if he was such the aggressor, like you guys want to say he was, why wasn't he doing that to Floyd? You know, was what he was doing against Floyd, was that running? What was that? You know? I didn't hear any of you guys saying that he was running against Floyd. Even when Floyd was standing right in front of him and he wasn't throwing punches. I mean, what do you guys call that? I didn't hear any of the Canelo fans saying that he was running then. Do you know? Matter of fact, did he run against Austin Trout? I heard a lot of people saying that. Well, he knew he was so far ahead, so, you know, why fight? Why risk it? Why stand right there and risk it? Is that running? Double standards, guys. Is that running there? When he just completely stopped fighting against Austin Trout? Come on, guys. But let's get back to the Mayweather fight. Okay, getting a little off, moving around a little bit too much. Anyway, back to the Mayweather fight. He lost every single round. Somehow, some way, one judge had the fight even. Now we go to this fight. One judge had Canelo winning 9 rounds of the fight. 9 rounds of the fight. There's something going on with this guy, man. It's obvious. And I know none of you guys will admit it, which is fine, because I expect that. You know? But it's obvious, okay? It's obvious. This guy is just like Oscar De La Hoya when it comes to getting these decisions, okay? And of course, there's not going to be a rematch. Because just like Oscar De La Hoya, he never gave guys rematches. When most of the people who watched the fight thought he lost, but he gets the gift decision, he never got back in there with Pernell Whitaker, did he? When a lot of people thought he lost that fight, I thought Oscar lost that fight. He didn't want to get back in there. Let's talk about Ike Corte. That's another fight that I thought Oscar lost. And that's a fight Oscar knew he was losing too, because he came out balls to the wall in that 12th round. Just like Canelo did in this fight. Now, Canelo didn't get the knockdown. He didn't get the knockdown like Oscar did in that 12th round, but he was trying to get the knockout like Oscar was trying to get the knockout because he knew he was down and he knew he needed it. But did he get back in there with Ike Corte? No, he didn't. He did not. Let's talk. You guys want to talk about running? I know most of you. Now, there's a lot of Canelo fans that are still new to the sport. There's a good chunk of them that are new to the sport, and they jumped on Canelo's bandwagon. A lot of you Canelo fans are old school Oscar De La Hoya fans. And these are the same people that still cry to this day about him being robbed against Felix Trinidad in 1999. Was that running? Was what Oscar did in that fight, was that running or was that boxing? Right? That was boxing there. But what Lara did last night was running. That was running. But what Oscar did was boxing. Do you remember him crying after the fight? Going down to the back, walking back to the locker room. I gave him a fucking boxing lesson. I landed more punches. I gave him a boxing lesson. Oh, man. It's just ridiculous, guys. You know, Canelo really, I mean, he really made himself look stupid, the things that he said after the fight. He knows damn well he didn't win the fight. Deep down in his heart, he ain't going to be able to look himself in the mirror and say that he beat Erislandy Lara, because he didn't. And I really feel bad for Lara because he finally got his shot. This is the first time I can remember a Cuban fighter being on a pay-per-view. And, you know, he got robbed, man. You know, he deserved to win the fight, and they gave it to the wrong guy. They just did. All right, and now Lara's going to have to go back to the drawing board. People saw how good of a boxer he is. His skills were on full display. I don't see many guys wanting to get in the ring with him now. I mean, it was already hard for him to get a fight as it is. I mean, he was getting ready to fight Ishii Smith before this fight was signed. I mean, Ishii Smith, think about that. You know? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know what's ahead for Erislandy Lara. I really don't. I hope that he doesn't decide to abandon his style just to please the judges. I mean, geez. I mean, really, if this is not how you win fights, like some of you guys say you can't win fights right away, I don't know how this guy has 19 wins on his record. I just don't. I mean, he fights the same way every time. How did he ever get a win as a professional, you know? Oh my goodness. But just pure BS what happened last night. I think a lot of the boxing fans really know who won this fight. And it is what it is, man. That's boxing. I expect that. I've been watching boxing for, you know, almost 30 years now, and you know, this is nothing new to me. I had a lot of people who were at my house last night that were casual fans who thought Lara won, and they were really upset with the decision. They were like, man, like I was trying to hang out and just, you know, party with these guys, have a few beers, you know, like, hey, come on guys, stick around, you know, eat some more food, let's drink. They're like, nah, man, I'm pissed, man, I can't believe that. That's wrong, you know. I said, well, that's boxing, you know. I've learned to accept it over the years. I mean, there was times when I was younger when something like this would happen and I would be upset. But, you know, I've learned to just turn the page and just say, you know what, that's boxing. I love the sport. I won't say that I'm going to stop watching or anything like that. I will say this. I won't support any of Canelo's fights anymore. I won't order any of them. I don't care who he's fighting. Unless he gets his ass back in the ring with Lara, then I'd order that fight. But if he's going to move on to fight guys like Miguel Cotto or Floyd Mayweather, oh, that's a stream all day. Streaming it all day. I won't support this guy anymore because, you know, there's something going on with him. There is. I already went over the scorecards of some of these fights. Something's always wrong with the scorecards when this guy fights. Always. So, you know, it is what it is, like I said. that's boxing. But I'm gonna end this video here. I might make another video on it. I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I gotta say, man. I had Lara winning the fight. I thought it was a clear win, 8 rounds to 4. But the ugly face of boxing politics showed up again in Vegas, and you know, that's what happened. So anyway, G-Funk, I'm out.